Hey friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and I am so excited that you decided to take time out of your day to spend with me because today we are doing something that I think is very exciting. I am going to be talking about my February TBR. And if you don't know, February is Black History Month, and I would like for my channel to be a place where we promote, celebrate, love, gush about Black authors and Black books. And so for the month of February, I am planning on reading only books by Black authors. And I am super excited to be doing this. I'm so excited. There's a million books that I want to read. I mean, what else is new? But I am just going to talk through what I will be picking from. I will be doing something a little different. So I'll be doing a reading vlog where Lex, who I talk about on this channel a lot, but if you don't know, Lex is my wife and she is a reader as well. And sometimes we buddy read, sometimes we just talk about books, and we read a little differently. Whereas I read romance, just straight up romance, and she doesn't, and she will read horror and I won't. So I have decided to let her pick 3 books that she wants me to read, and I'm terrified. I already know she is going to try to push me to read something that I wouldn't have picked for myself. So yeah, I don't know what those books are, but I do have to take that into account. So I'm already down to just 2 reading vlogs, and I, like I said, want to read all the things. So I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know if these vlogs are just going to be extra long or what's going to happen, but we're just going to ride with it. And like I said, I'm super excited to be reading these Black authors and highlighting them for Black History Month. So yeah, let's just get into the batch of books that I'll be pulling from for these reading vlogs. So the first book on this list is going to be So Let Them Burn by Kamilah Cole, and this is a YA sapphic fantasy that came out, I think, in 2024. And in this, we'll follow Farron. Let's go with Farron. We'll be following Farron, who can channel the power of the gods. 5 years ago, she used her divine magic to liberate her island from its enemies, the dragon-riding Langlish Empire. But now at 17, Farron is all powered up with no wars to fight. She's a legend to her people and a nuisance to her neighbors. When she's forced to attend an international peace summit, Farron expects that she will perform tricks like a trained pet and then go home. She doesn't expect her older sister Alara forming an unprecedented bond with an enemy dragon, or the gods claiming that the only way to break this bond is to kill her sister. As Farron's desperation to find another solution takes her down a dark path and Alara discovers the shocking secrets at the heart of the Langlish Empire, each must make difficult choices that will shape the other's lives, as well as the fate of the world. So look, y'all know I love me some dragons. I love a sapphic fantasy, a sister story. Like this just has all of the buzzwords for me. So I'm excited to get into this because, look, I did a thing. I pre-ordered the second book to this series before reading this. But hear me out. This is why I did it. This got a different cover, and I will put it over top so you can see what I'm talking about. The second book has this certain cover, right? And it doesn't necessarily match the theme of this one, but it's gorgeous. And Kamilah Cole was running a pre-order special where she had the redesigned cover of this book that matches the new book. So I'm like, of course, I'll have the matching covers. I mean, I was planning on reading this anyway. I haven't seen a bad thing said about this book, so it had to be done. And then I think it's only a duology. So the next book that I plan on picking up is Where Shadows Meet by Patrice Caldwell. And this is a 2025 release that I think is supposed to come out in April. But I have an arc of it. So I want to go ahead and read it. And it is a young adult vampire fantasy, and I think it is I don't know if it's sapphic or not. I think it's sapphic too. The dark and thrilling romantic debut vampire fantasy that questions what it truly means to sacrifice for love. Set in the aftermath of a war between vampires, humans, and the gods that created them, Patrice Caldwell's devastatingly romantic fantasy debut, Where the Shadows Meet, centers the heart wrenching pain of loss and the struggle of self discovery to ask, do we choose our fates or do our fates choose us? I'm here for it. I plan to read it and I'm excited. The next book on my list of hopefuls is going to be The Art of Scandal by Regina Black. And look, I have seen this book floating around and I have heard that it is messy. And y'all know I am a fan of messy books, so I got to pick it up. And the synopsis says, on the night of her husband Matt's 40th birthday, Rachel Abbott receives a sexy, explicit text from her husband that she quickly realizes was meant for another woman. See, that's what I'm talking about. Divorce is inevitable, and Rachel is determined not to leave her 13-year marriage empty-handed. As you should, sis. Meanwhile, Matt, a rising star mayor, has his eye on the White House and can't afford a messy split in the middle of his re-election campaign. Then you shouldn't have been cheating. What? They strike a deal. Rachel gets $1 million in their lavish house in the wealthy DC suburb of Oasis Springs, as long as she keeps playing the ideal black trophy wife until the election. Then Rachel meets Nathan Vasquez, a very handsome, very lost 26-year-old artist, and their connection makes Rachel forget about being the perfect politician's wife. With the risk of scandal looming and their hearts on the line, they'll have to decide whether the possibility of losing everything is worth taking a chance on love. Period. And I think it's going to be really great because I'm hoping that our good sis, what's her name, Rachel, gets the man that she deserves, because apparently the man she married wasn't it. He wasn't it. Let's talk about Sight Unseen by Kasha Thompson. And this is a contemporary romance that is kind of like Married at First Sight, if you have seen that show. So in this, we will follow Evelyn Townsend, who is the friend your parents warned you about. She's always jumping off bridges with reckless abandon. So when a reality show promises the opportunity to meet her perfect match, Evelyn is all in. But there's just one catch. Her soulmate will be picked by a panel of experts, and she doesn't get to meet him until they are face to face at the end of the aisle. Quincy Parrish has played it safe his entire life. When he steps out of his comfort zone and auditions for a reality TV show, he never expected to be picked. Quincy doesn't believe in the concept of soulmates, and the chances this arranged marriage will work are slim to none. But he's messed up his love life for the past 35 years. Maybe a group of experts can do a better job. After the I do's comes the getting to know one another, living together, meeting the family, and revealing secrets, all while cameras follow their every move. Evelyn and Quincy can't deny their chemistry, but can they get past the spectacle of the ever-present cameras and crew to find something real? A chance at love is better odds than nothing, even if that means falling in love while the whole world is watching. Sign me up. I loved Married at First Sight, at least the older seasons anyway. And so, yeah, I need this. I need to read this. Then we have Love Under Contract by Nina High, and this is also a contemporary romance. Marriage proposal or business proposition. When Charisse steps out of a job interview, she's met with an offer that blurs the line between the boardroom and the altar. Drew Martin, a billionaire married to his job, proposes a deal rather than a romance. A marriage of convenience to fulfill family obligations. So that's cute. We love a marriage of convenience. And next up, my library loan has finally has 2 weeks out for this book, so I think I'm going to be able to get to it in February, which is perfect. And that book is Between Friends and Lovers, and this is by Shirlene Obuobi. I think I'm saying that right. I don't know. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And the synopsis of this says, To her countless Instagram followers, Josephine is dazzling Dr. JoJo, and her opinions on health, growth, and self love matter. Her message: be smart, she has a medical degree after all, be significant, and do not put up with foolish men. But behind the camera, Jo's story is more complicated. She finds her influencer career underwhelming, her potential career in medicine overwhelming, and she's hung up on her best friend, Nepo baby, and rom com heartthrob Ezra. When Ezra shows up to his 30th birthday party with her childhood bully on his arm, however, Josephine realizes that it's time to take her own advice and prioritize her for once. No one is more shocked than Malcolm when his debut novel turns him into a critic's darling. When he's invited to a swanky penthouse party to discuss turning his book into a film, he knows rubbing elbows with the elites of entertainment will be great for his career. The only problem, he's not good with people and even worse at networking. Just when he's about to throw in the towel, he's rescued by none other than Dr. JoJo. He's been following her on social media for years, and she's even more impressive in real life. And to his bewilderment, the feeling is mutual. Mutual? But in a world where lines between private and public are as blurred as those between friendship and love, can they risk it all for something real? The next book I have is The Princess Trap by Talia Hibbert. I'm just, after rereading Get a Life, Chloe Brown last month, I just need some more Talia Hibbert and decided to try something new. Cherry is 30, flirty, and done with men. As far as she can tell, they're overrated, overpaid, and underperforming. Facts in every area of life. But a girl has needs, and the smoking hot stranger she just met at the office seems like the perfect one night stand. Prince Reuben of, is that Helgmore? I don't know, is reckless, dominant, and famously filthy. The outcast royal is rebuilding his reputation, all for a good cause, but he can't seem to resist a pretty face. And the bossy whirlwind Cherry's got the face, the body, and the attitude to make Reuben's convictions crumble. Even better, when she propositions him, she has no idea who he really is. But when paparazzi catch the pair kissing in an alleyway, Reuben's anonymity disappears faster than Cherry's knickers. Now the press is in an uproar and the palace is outraged, and Reuben's reputation is back in the gutter. There's only one way to turn this disaster around, and it involves Cherry, some big fat lies, and a flashy diamond ring on her left hand. Unfortunately, Cherry isn't pleased with Reuben's fake engagement scheme, and neither is the king. Yeah. I love fake dating. This is a fake engagement. So, I mean, it's going to give the same vibes. I don't know how this royalty thing is going to work for me, but I do know that I like Talia Hibbert's writing even when I don't necessarily connect with the story. So I'm willing to give it a shot. So next up, my plan is to make some progress in some series that I have already started. The first one I want to talk about is going to be The First Family by Granger. And this is the second book in the Drew Collins series that started with The Secret Life of Maggie Gray. And as always, this does not have much of a synopsis, which I wouldn't have been able to tell you even if it did, because I'm not going to spoil the series for you. So all this says is a mysterious murder has been committed at a mythical and magical HBCU campus. No one knows who did it. The school is covering it up in order to protect the students until it happens again. So that's all. That's all it says. That's all I'm going to tell you. I will tell you that The Secret World of Maggie Gray was one of my favorite books that I read in 2024. Like, this book had me screaming, crying, yelling, throwing up about it, and I'm just ready to get more of it. And I think the third book should be coming out soon, so I'm just super excited. This is a great magical, fantastical series where we follow mainly a witch, a siren, and a vampire through this magical HBCU, and there's all kinds of creatures and lore and just all the things. It's chaotic, it's funny, it's black in all caps, and I love that. And yeah, I want to go to Drew Collins. The cast is older, in like late 20s and up, so like all the vibes. I want all the things. Then we have Wicked Ties, which is the second book in the Tether trilogy by Shanora Williams, the first book being Vicious Bonds. Let me just tell you the synopsis of Vicious Bonds because no one will spoil nothing. So this is a dark romantic fantasy series of violence, chaos, angst, and a powerful love that cannot be denied. We follow Willow, who was never meant to live an ordinary life, and when she's dropped out of the sky into a haunting forest, facing the barrel of an unknown man's gun, she believes it to be true. Ruler of Blackwater, Kaz is the man behind the gun. He's broody, calculating, commanding, and surprisingly, she can hear every thought that runs through his mind. Because she can, he wants her out of his world and sent back to where she came from. So he makes it his mission to find a way. It seems like a simple task until she realizes that his world is unlike hers and that his is filled with violence, chaos, destruction, and gifted people who can kill you with one look. In his universe, it's hard for a regular human like her to survive, but with Kaz at her side, the possibility is higher. And the more time they spend together, the harder it is for them to ignore the connection. And he says they're not meant to be, so why does everything about him set her soul on fire? And y'all, okay, so for sure, going into this book, make sure you check content and trigger warnings because they're there for a reason. And I think that some of the things that are going to happen in this book, you want to know ahead of time, And so they didn't. I felt some. I'm not gonna lie. I felt some type of way about some of the things that were in the book, but I knew they were coming, and they didn't. Make me not like this book or this series. I'm super interested. I thought, it was a fun time and I'm ready to see what happens next because it ended in such a wild way and I need to know what happens next. So yeah, I think this one is really cool. Another sequel that I feel like I have been talking about since it came out and I still haven't picked it up and I have no reason why. That is The Davenports More Than This by Krystal Marquis. It's the second book in the Davenports series. I don't know if we're getting another one. Oh, I didn't know Prime Video is developing the Davenports. That's really exciting. I hope that they do a good job. So yeah, I don't know. I looked on Krystal Marquis' website and I looked on Google and nobody is telling me if this is going to be more than a duology or not. So first off, we are following 4 Black young women in Chicago in the 1910s, and we're following the oldest Davenport daughter, and her name is Olivia. And Olivia is out of society trying to find a good husband to, keep the wealth in the family and expand it. She just wants to be the perfect daughter and do what her parents want her to do. And then we have her younger sister, Helen, who we also follow. And Helen loves fixing on cars. She would much rather be in a garage tinkering around with a car instead of, being a woman out in society or what a typical woman is considered to be in this time. We also follow Olivia's best friend, Ruby. And Ruby's father is running to be the first Black mayor of Chicago, but that race is making them fly through money. So they're trying to penny pinch and not show that they're actually kind of on the broke side. And also push Ruby to marry the oldest Davenport, John. And the fourth perspective comes from Amy Rose, who is Olivia and Helen's lady's maid, and she is trying to figure out what is next for her. She wants to open a beauty shop, and it's hard enough just to be Black and open a business, but to be a Black woman and try to open a business it's a little more rough. I'm excited to see where their stories go because we left off in some pretty precarious situations in the first book. I plan to read another book in the Peachtree Cove series by Synithia Williams. Synithia? I don't know. I read one novella in this series and I liked it. I don't think I plan to read them in order. I'm just going to kind of skip around and pick through what I want to read. And I received an arc of this one and I'm super excited. It's called Frenemies, with benefits. You can't keep a sizzling secret in a town like Peachtree Cove. For a place that just won an award for Best Small Town, Peachtree Cove sure has a big rumor mill. And Tracy Thompson is tired of being at the center of it. She's worked hard to make her bed and breakfast a success, only to have her soon to be ex's very public affair with her business partner result in a shocking pregnancy and the biggest scandal around. If the whole town is going to talk no matter what she does, maybe it's time that Tracy stopped trying to be perfect. Maybe she should start doing things for herself, like having a little fun. And Brian Nelson, the sexy nursery owner who supplies plants for all her special events, is more than willing to help. This sounds right up my alley. Then I want to finish up that's not the name, the Love Struck series by Mimi Grace, and that's the one with Make a Scene and Take a Hike. No, Make a Scene and What a Match. I plan on reading Take a Hike. Day-to-day life has grown still for Raven Coleman, who prefers to fly by the seat of her pants than follow any set plan. So when she unexpectedly inherits an outdoor recreation and tour business in a charming small town, it's exactly the kind of shakeup she has been asking the universe for. Instead of selling mountaintop adventures right away, Raven decides to step in as the boss for the summer to determine if it's a position she'd like to hold long term. Unfortunately, her presence is not well received by the staff, particularly Silas, the hard-headed archery instructor. Silas once had big dreams, but life got in the way. Now he's making the most of his situation. That is, until the bubbly Raven thwarts his plan to buy Mountaintop Adventures. She has no industry experience or interest in the great outdoors, but insists she can run the business. The two butt heads immediately, but attraction and rapport soon soften their exchanges. Can Silas and Raven keep professional lines and their opposing goals intact, or is love a force too strong to ignore? So, I'm ready to finally wrap up this series, and I am kind of sad because I really like Mimi Grace's romances. All right, y'all. So my microphone died, but we're back. And I was just say, let me see. The last book that I want to talk about in the last series that I want to make progress in is going to be the Island Bites series by Angie Peltier. And this series starts with Sweet Hand. It was actually just added onto Kindle Unlimited, and I'm super excited about that. So maybe you want to pick it up as well while it's on there. And I am on the second book, which is Don't Go Baking My Heart. Devin King has a plan, an actual with bullet points and everything planned for his life. When he's called out at work for never participating in any office activities, he feels compelled to take part in the upcoming office bake-off competition to prove he's a team player, as making partner for his architectural design firm is on the top of his career goals. Only problem, he doesn't know anything about baking. Failure is not an option, so when his first choice for help is unavailable, desperate times lead him to ask Reba Johnson, assistant pastry chef to his brother's girlfriend. Reba's been having fun texting the super serious Devin. Is it Devon or Devin? Let's go with Devin for now. Devin ridiculous cat pictures for an entire month, but she's surprised when he asks for her help with a potential baking crisis, since their conversations have been one-sided until now. When her friends make a bet that even she can't get the stoic Devin to fall for her charms, Reba sets out to prove them wrong and get Devin to have some fun. Don't know if you can hear my dryer singing in the background, but that's a thing. As the competition draws closer, their sessions get hotter, with a one-night stand turning into 2 nights, then 3. Reba doesn't fit into Devin's carefully crafted life, and as he tries to focus on winning the company contest, he discovers that sweet treats aren't the only thing baking in the kitchen, and all his perfect plans are crumbling. And this sounds super cute. I love romances or anything around food and cooking, so yeah, I think this is gonna be super cute. Those are all of the books that I plan on getting to. Or no, that's a lie. I don't plan on getting to all of these. These are going to be the group of books that I am choosing from when I read this month. My list of hopefuls. So yeah, that's better. Thank you so much for staying until the end of this video and listening to me yap about books because it's literally my favorite thing to do. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, anything that you do to support me and this channel. I am very, very grateful. I hope that you have the best day that you possibly can. And you know what? I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.